that.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for our 40th anniversary celebration. 2015 marks 40 years since this esteemed organization was founded by 44 courageous men and women.
NABJ started with a very brave group of journalists, of people who were not afraid to take a chance. Now, I'm also the one that was probably the most secure, because being the first black general manager in the country, I wasn't afraid of getting fired from my job, and I had no worries, because I wasn't going to fire myself.
I remain committed and passionate about NABJ.
I think 40 years ago what it was like, and then I walk in and I see all these beautiful, smart, young kids, and that's what we founded it for.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of your Human Service News and Information. I'm Hassan Rashid, your host, and I'll be here with you for approximately 25 more minutes. First, before I start the program, I'd like to wish you all, each and every one of you out there in Cambridge, Eastern Massachusetts, or those within the range of our broadcast, Happy New Year. And it's excellent being here with you once again. It's such a great achievement to come into your lives like we do here every day here at CCTV. I'm Hassan Rashid. I'll be hosting you until about 25 more minutes. The opening video was a promo of the 40th anniversary of the National Association of Black Journalists, and I'll be telling you a little bit more about them in the after the turn of the year. They're having a big conference down in Washington, D.C., their annual conference, so we're going to share some information with you about their annual conference of the National Association of Black Journalists. Last year, they held their national conference right here in Boston, so you'll be hearing more about that. Well, if it's if time permits, we like to reflect on the past year here at CCTV, your Human Service News and Information, and the history of community life and diversity of Muslim Americans in New England. They call it retroflecting. I think that's what they call it. So if we can get this technology together, we're going to try to reflect on our past broadcasts here for the total year, if time permits. Okay, and we're going to try to back that up with some traditional or some classic music from yesterday. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, let's see if we can get this going. Ready? Okay, here we go. Okay, we're going to start, I guess, December, and go back. December, November, October, September, January. I think that's how we're going to do it, but let's see if we can get this. Okay, okay, we had, this is our December, so we're going to try to go back from December to, as soon as we get this started now. Okay. So we get this going. Okay, okay. No, this is our last December broadcast. It occurred. Don't want to come on. Okay, well, this doesn't work. We just have to go into our our regular program, regular schedule. Okay, let me try it one more time. It's not working. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can go back one of our broadcasts. Try it again. Well, I guess I have no luck with that. So we're gonna just that regular broadcast. Okay, I'm Hassan Rashid. This is your Human Service News and Information, and I'd like to remind you that January is just right around the corner, and you know January means that the winter farmers market will be in full operation, full functioning. So it'll be starting the winter farmers market where you can pick up fresh produce, etc., etc. And the winter farmers market, there's two in Cambridge. One is located on Calendar Street. That's 5 Calendar Street at the that's the Cambridge. I think that's the Cambridge Community Center. That's 5 Calendar Street, and the other one is a Technology Square. And they also hold a winter's farmers market every winter. So they'll be starting about second week in January, I think, all the way up until April. So you stay tuned, CCTV, for more information about that. Okay, I'm sorry I couldn't. I want to take you on a journey to what's been happening here on this broadcast for the past year. But unfortunately, the technology is different now. They just changed everything. So I can't do it. It won't happen like it happened last year. But the thing is that don't fret, because January will come. We'll probably do it in the first week of January and take you back about all the things that transpired here at History Community Life and Diversity of Muslim Americans and your Human Service News and Information. Okay, the Philip Brooks House. Okay, first thing in the news here, Human Service News, is the Philip Brooks House Association. That's and they're located at North Harvard Yard in Cambridge here. Okay, and they're informing me that when they broke ground on the PBH's, that's acronym for Philip Brooks House Association, new Y2Y Harvard Square shelter. That's the new Y2Y youth homeless shelter that was just inaugurated or brought into existence about 2 months ago, earlier this year. And one of our amazing youth advisory board members wrote, "Hope is here." On the wall of the then unfinished basement. That sentiment felt more true than ever as we opened our doors to the first shelter guest a few days ago. So in fact, hope is here seems an appropriate characterization of the work across the PBHSA programs as students and partners strove to make a difference in the 2015. So the summer urban program strengthened equality, affordable summer learning opportunities for over 800 children. And our leaders, teen employees, and mentoring initiatives grew in size. And 2 of our young people were invited by Michelle Obama to a symposium for first generation college students at the White House. Okay, so the PBH's successful Alzheimer's Buddies program launched a national expansion, and our prison education program welcomed a new advocacy initiative. Student leaders wrestled with and sought to address systematic concerns over time, from racial injustice on and off campus to the lack of funding for low-income communities. And through it all, driving it all, we are so grateful for your ongoing support that makes that hope possible. The hope of young leaders who know and understand that we have a lot of work to do to make this world a better place, and who are willing to dedicate the commitment and beliefs to making that possible. So the Philip Brooks House Association at Harvard University warmly welcome you, wishes you all a warm and happy 2016 New Year. So that's from Maria Dominicaz Gray, class of 1955, and she's the executive director over there at the Philip Brooks House Association at Harvard University, on the campus of Harvard University. And I wish you out there in Cambridge and our viewing space happy New Year. Okay, the Black background in Black Lives Matter. Scholars of African American history drew parallels with past movements. So this is an article about, I guess, professors at Harvard, and they had a symposium or seminar on the background of the Black Lives Matter movement. So this is what transpired, okay? Harvard professor Walter Johnson, right to left, Elizabeth Hinton, okay, that's a picture, we don't have the picture, okay, as a protest against violence towards African Americans, Black Lives Matter burst onto the scene just 2 years ago. But according to Harvard scholars, it is a movement that has historical roots that go back more than 300 years. Violence against black lives began when slaves brought black people, slave ships brought black people to America, and Evelyn Brooks Higginbottom, the Victor S. Thomas Professor of History and of African American Studies, she said, I quote, "In the history of African Americans, the story of struggle has been a constant one," she told an overflowing crowd Tuesday at the Robinson Hall Lower Library, sponsored by the Harvard History Department. The seminar, hashtag Black Lives Matter in Historical Perspective, underscored the growing movement for racial justice taking hold across the country. On Monday, the president of the University of Missouri resigned in the wake of students, that was the past Monday, a couple months ago, that's quite a few Mondays ago though, resigned in the wake of students' protests against racial tensions. In August 2014, Black Lives Matter chapters demonstrated after Michael Brown was shot dead by white police officer Darren Wilson in Ferguson, Mass. The movement was born in 2013 after a Florida jury acquitted George Zimmerman of second-degree murder and the shooting death of African-American teenager Trayvon Martin, okay? Higginbottom's drew parallel between earlier protest movements and Black Lives Matter, which described itself as a chapter-based national organization working against police violence and anti-black racism. She compared Black Lives Matter to the anti-lynching campaign in the 19th and the early 20th centuries led by Ida B. Wells and the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. That's NAACP, which was founded in 1909. The campaign brought international attention to the extrajudicial killings of black people in the United States, Higginbottom said. Audience members listened to the discussion, which was held in Robinson Hall. Rose Lincoln, Harvard staff. Okay, we don't have the picture here of that. Okay, some were lynched because they stood up to a landowner. Some were lynched because they crossed the color line. Consensually, and some were lynched because they were successful, Higginbottom said. The NAACP understood that you didn't have to look a certain way to be lynched, she added, because they live daily with the fear of not only violence, but with the fear of constant segregation. Walter Johnson, Winthrop Professor of History and a Professor of African American Studies, spoke about St. Louis' history of segregated neighborhoods. St. Louis, Missouri is to this day one of the most racially segregated cities in the United States, said Johnson. What happened in Ferguson is that the history of structural racism was expressed in the systematic racism of the Ferguson Police Department. Okay, Black Lives Matter also bears similarities to the Black Power movement of the 1960s and 70s, said Brandon Terry, an assistant professor of African American and African American Studies and Social Studies. That movement also supported black self-determination and aimed to galvanize the public into action. Terry said Black Lives Matter represented a unique moment in the history of black political thought because it rejected the idea of black uplift, okay, which proposed that educated blacks are responsible for the well-being of black population. Black Lives Matter folks don't get dragged into that argument, said Terry. They think that not what they're supposed to do, and that is kind of crazy to think that a group of activists are supposed to solve the centuries-long problems. In shedding light on African Americans' life from the beginning of slavery to the anti-lynching crusade of the Civil Rights Movement, these speakers shared their hope that the history can provide clues for Black Lives Matter to achieve a stated goal of changing a world where black lives are systematically and intentionally targeted for demise. Okay, history is crucial, said Elizabeth Hinton, an associate professor of history and of African American Studies. It helps us to figure out ways in which we can move forward and transcend the institutions and systems that have made black lives not matter for the entire history of this nation. Okay, we're going to turn to another article, and it also relates to something that's happening on the Harvard University campus. This is an article from the Pluralism Project, and it's entitled "Citing News from the Pluralism Project." Okay, so they start off with, "Dear friends, thank you all who are already given generously to the Pluralism Project this year. We are grateful for your ongoing support, and I'm glad to hear that you share our excitement about marking the Pluralism Project 25th anniversary. If you haven't heard the news, please see below for announcement. Okay, for those of you who have not yet made a contribution, there's still time to be included as a tax-deductible 2015. Your gift must be postmarked or made by next Thursday, December 31st. For more information on how to give, please go to www.pluralism.org/about/donations. Thank you again for your support. Best wishes to you and yours warmly. So this is a pledge or a plea for end of year contributions, which is traditional. All nonprofit organizations, charitable organizations, they offer this plea for donations at the end of the year. Okay, it's traditional. Okay, and they say, in the coming year, the Pluralism Project will celebrate 25 years of work on the many critical issues of religious diversity in our society. Frankly, I could never have imagined 25 years ago where this work would take us. It seems like yesterday that I met for the first time with students to create a research seminar on world religion in New England. I, like my students, was curious and eager to learn how the post-1965 immigration had impacted our local religious and interfaith communities. So this is a letter from, I think that's Donna E. She is the director there at the Pluralism Project. That's Diane E., Professor of Comparative Religion and Studies, Frederick Warren, Professor of Law, Psychologist, and Psychiatry and Society, Director of Pluralism Project. So they want me to remind you that you can make a donation by check online. For more information, please visit a website. That's www.pluralism.org/about/donations. So if you'd like to send them a donation, you can do it. So they're located at 2 Arrow Street, 4th floor, Cambridge, Massachusetts, 02138-617-496-2481. And once again, that email is www.pluralism.org. And that's the Pluralism Project. Okay, and so they specialize in religious affairs. That's international religious affairs, and mostly Far Eastern religions. Okay, complexing financing may be a model for affordable housing. About half of the apartments in this building near the North Station will be aimed at renters earning about up to $78,800 for a two-person household, which would pay about $1,628 a month. Okay, so the developer's related bill is set to start work Monday on a rare thing in Boston, a downtown apartment building where every unit will rent at below market rates. Isn't that something? At below market rates. The unusual building requires an extraordinary assembly of financing sources to pull off. Yet despite its complexity, the related bill project offers a template for other developers to meet the city's goal of building more housing that middle-income residents can afford. Okay, related will launch construction on a 14-story building at Beverly and Causeway Street in the Bullfinch Triangle near North Station. All 239 apartments will be priced at rents affordable to low and middle-income tenants. We're extremely proud of this development, said Kimberly Sherman Stamler, the company's chief operating officer. About half the units are aimed at renters earning mid-range incomes up to $78,800 for two-persons household, with the rest set at rents for lower incomes. And 24 of them, 1 in 10, will be 3 bedrooms, a higher share than most new residential buildings in the city. A family of 4 that earns $78,800 a year, for example, could rent a 2-bedroom apartment for $1,628 a month in a neighborhood where similar new apartments often fetch twice that much. The property is a former Big Dig site owned by Massachusetts Department of Transportation, and related bill needed sign-offs from about 25 city, states, and federal agencies, said Ted Lubitz, who spearheaded the project for the company. Related bill had to tap 11 public and private financing sources to raise its roughly 230 million budget, okay? And there are state and federal tax credits and low bond and break and city property tax over the next 23 years, and a 10.5 million payment from Boston properties in Delaware North, which are building a huge office and huge complex at nearby TV Garden that requires a contribution to the city affordable housing program. So Cambridge could learn a lot from that. Okay, Boston Mayor Martin J. Welch cautioned that many details still must be worked out. So he said his administration is considering protection for renters who are being priced out of city's booming housing market. Last week, Welch said he supported the concept of a proposed just cause eviction ordinance that tenant groups are drafting. It would require landlords to give cause for an eviction and attempted mediation on rent hikes of more than 5%. The news cheered tenant advocates who are organizing a campaign to put the proposal before the Boston City Council in 2016. The measure would also need the legislature's approval. But Welch administration officials in interviews stressed that key details still need to be worked out and that there may be other approaches to more effectively deal with the impact of rapid rent hikes and redevelopment, which are pushing residents from the city's traditional working class neighborhoods. So that's a good thing. I have to salute Mayor Martin Welch for that, and I wish someone here in Cambridge comes up with an idea to do something similar. Okay. Okay. Data on New Year's increase to state minimum wage and earned income tax. This January, that's January 2016, two laws will take effect that will significantly improve the wages and income of working people in the Commonwealth. Okay, while wages for low and middle income workers have been stagnated for decades, in the last 2 years, the state legislature and the governor, responding to people's organizing across the state, enacted laws increasing the state minimum wage and the state earned income tax credit, EITC. On January 1st, the minimum wage will increase to $10 an hour. This is part of a scheduled set of increases that will bring the minimum wage up to $11 an hour in 2017. Going to $10 an hour will raise the wages of about 450,000 people, working people in the Commonwealth. For more information, for more information, you're going to go to, wow. Okay, I don't see that website, but I do see an email. That's nberger. That's NBERGER at massbudget.org. Okay, so I guess that's massbudget.org for more information on this increase in wages that's going to take place at the turn of the year, the first of the year. Okay, okay, that's a good thing. Anytime that they support the working people with increase in income, you know that's a good thing. Okay, season greetings for National Low Income Housing Council. Okay, as 2015 comes to an end, the National Low Income Housing Coalition looks to 2016 with optimism. Okay, the first funds for the National Housing Trust Fund will be distributed to states in 2016. That's a National Housing Trust Fund, which was just passed, okayed in the President Omnibus Bill. The President to sign that into law. So funding from this this fund to end low income and homelessness to attack low income renters. I mean low income people, and especially the homeless, to help them find permanent supportive housing and support after they get the housing. This is what they call the National Housing Trust Fund, which was signed into law, and states will soon be receiving funding for that. So that's what this article is about. And the first funds for the National Housing Trust Fund will be distributed to states in 2016. And National Low Income Housing Council will continue to work diligently to ensure successful implementation. So they spearheaded this project to get the National Low Income Trust Fund funded. Okay, so no, that's what it's entitled. The acronym NLIHC will also help advocates and low income renters understand the new affirmatively furthering fair housing rule and how they should be involved in its rollout, okay? As of course, NLIHC NILC will continue to document and communicate the need for affordable housing for the lowest income people in America, and to advocates for the resources and policies needed to end homelessness and housing poverty. Okay, so there's a message from Sheila Crawley. She was the president and CEO of National Low Income Housing Council, and she's going out. She's resigning or retiring this year, but they wish you all, that's your National Low Income Housing Council, a season's greeting and a happy New Year. Okay, we got a few more minutes here, but another little message from National Low Income Housing Council. That's catch the early bird rates and save on NUC's 2016 Policy Forum, April 3rd to 15, 2016, Washington, D.C., at the Washington Court. So you get all of you low-income tenant councils out there, you can check with the Housing Authority and see if they're going to support this year. Send a lot of people down to this conference. So you'll be hearing more about that. That's April 3rd to 5th. I am Hassan Rashid, and you know it's always excellent being here with you. Until next time, I leave you with this message. Keep your nose clean, play it straight so that you can be successful. And don't forget to assist someone in need of your help. So until next time, I leave you with ancient cordial peace, and that is peace. Okay, I'm gonna leave you the same way I came. All right.